how do we take them and how do we grow them? And this is a graph that I've used to illustrate to other people in the past. I've been buried for forever. This is like the relationship circle of relationships, right? Starting next, the top one is your general relationships. The bottom one I've framed out here are basically the chart of employees. You've got your marriage. It's a tight group of people, right? In a business situation, that's the founders. It's easy, man. Just by looking at someone, you know what to do. You don't have to communicate, you don't have to send an email, you just know. If somebody's tense, whatever, you get it. It's like your marriage. Right outside of that, your close friend, man. You can do whatever. You can kill their dog, your private friend. You know what I mean? You can do a lot. You can kick them, you can do whatever, man. They're private friend. They hit their car. And you go further up, you get to this little loose periphery, the tribe. People, they're back there every now and then, they come, they go, they're whatever. The top is, the crowd. So the people, you're in a crowd, they'll say what's up. Hey, man, sorry, what's up. Surrounding that, I think, then are your enemies. It's people that are either envious of your situation, they want what you got, they want your group of friends, they want whatever. But it's funny that enemies are there because to me, they're a big group and they're there whether they like you, hate you, despise you. They're a part of that situation. Now, when you look on the bottom side of this curve, you start realizing, oh shit, does that mean when I have 100+ employees, they're my enemies? Well, I can tell you, man, people, as you start getting down that list, that 10 people right there, that's the easy group. It's like by osmosis. They just know what to do. The communication doesn't have to be over the top. You don't have to send 8,000 emails. You don't have to ping them in the head with a hammer. Hey, man, just do this. You know what I mean? It just gets done. And I think as you move further, it just that osmosis seems to hit a barrier. We're in this range kind of between the 25 and 50. And I'll be honest with you, man, it's unique because when you get there, the people too that are there, they're not as stable. I don't mean that in a bad way to the person. I just mean that the position that they're in, being on that periphery, seems to have a higher turnover rate. And so you get a bigger flux. And so the people that step into those positions seem to have less and less and less of that osmosis from the beginning. I ask myself the question all the time, what can we do to diffuse this, to remove that? And in reality, I think the biggest key is making this bubble and this bubble as big as possible so that then those people can share the wealth and they can create their own concentric circles within them. And as a business, you can have that founder become sales director, become CFO, to where their teams start having these concentric circles and building off of that. I mean, it's challenging, especially in this area. It takes a lot of talent, and you can't really be quick to react because there's not a really available person to replace it. So it's this delicate balance. I'm going to tell you, man, I don't have it all figured out. Like I said earlier, I'm imperfect. We're all still striving. But I do think it's part of the innovation and collaboration piece is you guys got to figure out how to work together. It's talk to somebody. If you're in a water fountain, hey, man, what's up? I tell Robbie all the time, man, just come in my office and annoy me. I don't give a shit. Walk in there and say, hey, look, I got this. Whatever it is, it's the communication piece of that I think to me is important. In the beginning, people in our company, this probably, Ed's sitting here going, holy shit, this is me. You gotta be, it was urgent. Everybody was urgent. Everybody was determined. The endurance level that it took to start our company in the beginning was astronomical. It was like an Antarctic expedition. I mean, you're chugging through snow knee deep every day. It feels like it. I promise you, it tells you right now, it still feels like it. Being an entrepreneur, and I consider guys like Ed and Robbie that do this, they're entrepreneurs. This is you're creating your own business every single day. And so finding those people over and over again has been part of developing this company structure.
said, I have this awesome idea, and it's going to cost a bunch of money. It's going to be a huge pain in the ass to do. Never going to make any money. What are you making?
A company with basically a napkin sketch of what was to be the BOTE house.
Sometimes the best return on investment is simply that place exists.
I looked at the drawings and I'm like, holy shit, this is going to be killer. And I wrote an email back and just said 2 words. I'm in.
Construction here is always simple, but it's never easy.
We're in the middle of the jungle in Belize. The next closest place to here is Mexico. All the construction in the BOTE house took place here at Cayo Francis. And back in San Pedro, we sourced all the furniture from local workshops using local material.
To get stuff up here, we enlisted the services of our friend Joker. And Joker made about 50 runs back and forth, hauling stuff. 5 miles from the nearest road, 12 miles from town, and at low tide, the water in front of us is 12 inches deep. The relationship or the symbiotics that are involved with the BOTE products and Cayo Francis, it just marries up perfectly.
It's something as a brand we can take and have other people come down and experience what we built this to be. The BOTE house isn't just for us. It's for people to use as part of the Cayo Francis Farm and Fly. Come down here and live the adventure. You know, get in the water, don't paddle all day long. Slay a bonefish at sunset.
I got out on board and kind of was doing my own thing. Yeah, we saw some slabs. I mean, big fish. It just made sense to sort of paddle over, access to the sand point, made a cast, and everything just couldn't have been more on point. The timing, time of day, light, everything. It's such a unique and special spot, you know, with the addition of the BOTE house, it just adds to that. Who knew? It's almost like we knew what we were doing. I mean, the place has come to fruition better than I think any of us ever imagined.
To me, this is a physical representation of what we do.
We're going to be able to utilize the BOTE house for giveaways, sweepstakes, collaborations with other folks, and that sort of thing. The joint motivation for doing this to build something really, really special and unique, and that right there itself is the reward of all the effort and all the expense.
We're different, man. We're not a t-shirt. We're not a hat. We are what we fundamentally do. You know, I mean, this is why we all got into it, man. I mean, it's what keeps me going. It's both, man. I mean, it's what we do.
Why are you interviewing me? Go away. I'm just a photographer.
That's the reason I showed that video is I just wanted to kind of personify and embody what I was talking about. Pretty much everyone in that video is other than Jeff, the guy you saw in the video, is part of our crew. You know, Rob, Sean, Nick. We live this, and to me, that's the only way to kind of get everybody else involved in it too. I'm gonna skip through these next slides quickly, just because it's kind of self-explanatory. Go to this. I'll briefly touch on this just because I don't want to take the rest of your afternoon and then get to the important kind of closure. We've with being innovative comes being willing to adapt and change. Like I said earlier, I mentioned we started with retail, e-commerce, we went to wholesale. We're making, with the future of business in general, with Amazon taking over, with everybody going to e-commerce. Over the past 16 months, we've been having a big transition. 6 months, a big transition in our business from the wholesale model to becoming a direct consumer model, just like everyone else, just like everybody's doing, all the big brands. And it's a huge challenge. We're basically having to scale an entirely new team inside of our team that can do this while maintaining the existing business model of what we are as kind of a swinging vine. And, you know, in this area, you want to talk about being innovative, you know, trying to find the people that can do this and grow an e-commerce company and scale it and ship and do all the logistics. It's presenting a giant challenge that, you know, we're excited to accept. I think we can all sit here and talk about how excited we are. And, you know, I wish I had more time to elaborate on it, but I just don't want to take up everybody's time. Like I said, in a nutshell, it's about being innovative and thinking differently. And this is just a quick snapshot of our old business model versus our new, making e-commerce be a primary platform for our business. We've just to kind of toot our horn a little bit, back to the successes that I said I think key stories have. This last year at Surf Expo, which is a giant outdoor water sports trade show, we won brand of the year. You know, I mean, and a lot of, I mean, you know, we beat out Hogan. I'm sure you guys all know Hogan. We beat out, you know, pretty much you name it. Well, hell, we won brand of the year. And then at ICAST, which is the world's largest outdoor fishing trade show, we actually won best in category and best in show. Best new product. I mean, that beat out Yamaha, Honda, you know, I mean, you name it. Big Shimano. We won with our product, the Rover, which is, kind of here. This is a little brief picture of the Rover. It's a new product we introduced. This took a lot of innovation and collaboration to develop this, which is basically a giant stand-up motorized paddleboard. It's the most fun you'll ever have on a piece of equipment. Back to this, and I'll kind of wrap it. There's two more slides, and I really wanted to hit on this. Back to the mission statement, I'm talking about, you know, define a product that defines a lifestyle. For me, the important thing in that product is the business. You know, you asked me, you said, what you're trying to help encourage and inspire is culture. For me, I think this is why I started my overall business, is that I wanted the business to be its own self-sustaining culture, its own product. You know, in a nutshell, if you could look at BOTE, that is the product, not a hat, not a shirt, like the video said, not a board, but the business. And I think it's critical for us to look at it like that because it molds hires, it molds systems, it molds buildings. We just got our new corporate office space. My entire goal behind wanting to move out of our cram back into our warehouse space was to give people a better environment, you know, better collaborative environment so they can think better, they can innovate, they can be more collaborative. And, you know, the long-term future of the business is going to be more healthy because of it. And, you know, looking at the business as a product inside the mission statement to me is one of the most critical things about doing this. Again, back to the opening statement, you know, my goal with this was just kind of to inspire the human element more so than technology. I could have came in here and talked about how we make things, how we do stuff, how we mold crap, how we do this and do that. I feel like I do that every day, you know what I mean, in the business and the brand and through the editorials and through whatever we do. And I just kind of wanted to give, you know, my story in loose as I can. I mean, I could talk for 3 hours about what it took to do this. Like I said, it took immense work, hard work, dedication, commitment, passion, motivation, destruction. You know, I'm sure my wife will tell you now, it's still not glamorous. You know what I mean? It's nonstop. I was up until 3 a.m. last night working. You know, we're literally 3 of us are here while moving warehouses, figuring out, shit, how many stuff shipped? How many of this over there? How many people in the office, the phones aren't working, blah, 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 blah. It's chaos. It's never going to end. It's beautiful. You know, why do it? One last thing, I want to leave with this picture because, like I said, stories are inspiring. Stories are everything. You know, people that dedicate their lives to something is what it takes to be an entrepreneur, I think, is what it takes to go out and strive and create. And I think the first picture that I showed you of a fascinating story to me was Shackleton. Well, here's a picture of his grave. He died trying. You know, that's what it takes. If you're willing to go after it, you got to be able to risk it and put it all up. So I hope I didn't just Debbie Down it with that at the end. I mean, that's it. You know, I mean, it's in a nutshell. People ask, what does it take? Everything. I mean, there's no easy answer. You know, and to do stuff, to be innovative and collaborative, man, you got to give it your all. I mean, I know it's a really rah-rah speech, but it's for real. That's my take on it. So that's it.
is that there's nothing better, as you said, than questions and interviews over beer, as we can attest to. So I'm thinking what we'll do is those who are interested in the Defense Entrepreneurs Forum discussion, we'll start that in 5 minutes in here. Go grab a beer, come back here. We're going to webcast it. Someone's going to be giving a little spiel about what that entails and what it's all about. So go ahead and come back in here for that. Everyone else that may or may not be interested in that and does want to mingle outside, the beer is going to be served over here in the kitchens. We have Jason from Third Planet here, also from the 46 test wing, but not for long from what I heard. Yes, awesome. So retiring soon. Thanks.
Yeah.
Oh, not at all.